My name is David Ondrej, and here is how to code anything with Claude AI. Now, Claude just became better than OpenAI's O1, and that's because Anthropic, the company behind Claude, just released an upgraded version of Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is their best AI model. And it managed to even beat OpenAI's O1, making it the world's most powerful AI. So here is my promise. If you watch the entire video, you'll know how to code anything with this new AI model. Now, computer use. This is a crazy new feature released by Anthropic. It basically allows Claude to perceive and interact with computer interfaces. So you feed in a screenshot and Claude returns the next action to take on the computer, such as move mouse, click, type text, and so on. Now, I predict that these two new AI features are going to cause a business boom. The new Claude 3.5 Sonnet is especially huge for small and medium-sized businesses. Why? Well, because you'll be able to automate more tasks than ever before, saving you valuable time and energy. Real quick, if you have a business that's making at least $2,000 a month and you want to scale to multiple 5 figures, then click the first link in the description. I will select 5 of you, and for the next 6 months, I will personally help you scale to $20,000 a month and beyond. So make sure to fill out the form today, because once I have the 5 people, I will not accept any more clients. Now here is how Anthropic compares to OpenAI. This is the revenue mix from OpenAI from 2022 to 2024. You can see that they have 2.9 billion from ChatGPT and 1.08 from API, meaning ChatGPT is by far their biggest revenue driver. However, for Anthropic, it's exactly the opposite. They have 120 million from Claude premium subscriptions and 600 million from APIs, meaning their APIs make up the vast majority of the revenues. So what does this actually mean? Well, it means that Anthropic is probably going to focus more on developers, on people building with AI, people like me and you who actually want to build products and companies with AI tools, while OpenAI seems to be more focused on casual users, people who just use ChatGPT. Oh yeah, and Anthropic also announced Haiku 3.5. This is going to be their new best small model, and it's perfect for building AI agents. Not only is it just as smart as GPT-4o, on some tasks it's even better, but it also costs exactly 10 times less than GPT-4o. This means that the cost of AI is rapidly approaching zero. A year from now, we'll be able to build entire startups for less than $5. And if you're just as excited for that as I am, make sure to subscribe. Now, the future is here. Thanks to the computer use API from Anthropic, we can now build software that can interact with computers just like humans do. Now you might be thinking, but David, what does computer use actually look like? Well, let me show you.
So let's ask Claude to navigate to claude.ai within my Chrome browser and ask Claude within claude.ai to create a fun 90s themed personal homepage for itself. Claude opens Chrome, searches for claude.ai, and then types in a prompt asking the other Claude to create a personal homepage for itself. Claude.ai returns some code, and that gets nicely rendered in an artifact on the right-hand side.
What we're going to do is ask Claude to look at the spreadsheet, check if Ant equipment is in there, and if not, move over to the CRM and try and find some more information there. Once it has this data, Claude's going to then fill out the form for us and hopefully transfer the information across to the vendor form. The first thing that's going to happen is Claude's going to start taking screenshots of my screen and quickly realizes that the Ant equipment company isn't actually in the spreadsheet. So the first thing it does is it swaps over to a CRM and searches for the company we're interested in. Luckily, we get a search match, and Claude then starts scrolling through the page, looking for all the information it needs to fill out this form. Claude then autonomously starts transferring the information across without me having to do anything, and then submits the form.
Now, I do have to say that computer use isn't perfect yet. Here are 2 funny errors that Anthropic themselves encountered while testing this new feature. In one of them, Claude accidentally clicked to stop a long-running recording, causing all footage to be lost. It's pretty bad. In another error, Claude suddenly took a break from our coding demo and began to pursue photos of Yellowstone National Park. So it just started doing whatever it wants. By the way, if you want me to make a separate video on Claude computer use, comment below. And now, let's get to building. Okay, so we're gonna start inside of Claude. The domain is claude.ai. And if you don't have the professional plan yet, now is probably the best time to get it, because you get the new Sonnet 3.5 model inside. So what I'm gonna be building is an extension of my AI startup. So I need you to code a short Python script that uses the Anthropic API to sort the tasks the user provides us. And then I'm going to explain what the syntax is, right? So let's go to docs.anthropic.com. So inside of get started, we need to scroll down to find the Python API right here. So click on Python, and here's the quick start. Let's copy this code. Let's go back to Claude. Okay, I want to say here's the official Anthropic documentation. So 4 lines, just separate, boom. Use this exact syntax. And then I'm going to say, let's put our DB, which stands for database. Okay, database in memory for now. Use raw Python, not fast API. I mean, my startup is built on fast API, but we're just going to keep it simple. And we'll say implement this in as few lines as possible. Actually, we probably need to more give detail on the tasks, right? So I'm going to also, yeah, okay. Let's go back to this setup. We need to get the Anthropic API key. I'm going to tell it it's going to be in the environment variable. Say the Anthropic API key is going to be in .env. Then I'm going to say the script should work like this. We ask the user to create a new task. Every task has 2 properties by default, name and priority. The default, okay, then we feed in the task into the Anthropic API call, which decides what priority to assign. Okay, actually, you know what? Maybe the priority should not be, okay, let's delete this. Which decides what position the task should be in based on other tasks currently in our list. Then we display the new sorted list of tasks, and then the loop starts over, asking the user for a new task again. I'm going to say implement this in as few lines of code as possible. Do not add any extra features. This is just an MVP. Keep it simple, okay? Now, let's run it. In the meantime, let me open up Cursor, which right now is probably the best code editor. By the way, if you don't have Cursor, just go to cursor.com and download it. They have a pretty solid free plan. So why am I building this AI agent in particular? Well, this is actually a problem that I have myself, which is exactly why I decided to solve it, right? So I'm building an AI startup that's going to be doing this. It's going to be a productivity app powered by an AI agent in the back that's constantly sorting, organizing, and prioritizing the tasks. And on top of that, he will actually help you take the first step in completing your task. So obviously the startup is still in development, but if you want to be one of the first people who have access, then click on the waitlist in the description and fill it out. Okay, so now we have some initial code. Let's copy this over and head on into Cursor. Inside of Cursor, this is very important. By default, you'll see Claude 3.9 Sonnet, but this is the old version. You need to click on the 2024-10-22. I know it's a confusing formatting, but this is basically the release date. Once you have this, this is the new version, which is a lot more powerful than the old one. So we have this code, and we should probably also tell it, now output a clear set of info in a bullet list summarizing everything you know about this project so far, and the answer in short. The reason I want to transfer this into Cursor as well. Okay, this is pretty solid. Let's go into our Cursor. Let's replace whatever we have. Save that. Actually, instead of bullet list, I'm going to say in 2 paragraphs. It's probably more natural. Okay, let's copy this. I'm going to say boom. The main implementation is in, and I'm going to tag the file task agent. Okay. And maybe we should probably test it out first, right? So before I send this, let's probably test it out. Anthropic API key. So all right, so I already put it in here, but let me show you how to do this. So let me delete this. So what we need to do, actually, let me delete the entire file. So we need to, inside of Cursor, we need to create a new file, name it .env, exactly like this. Then we head on to the initial setup. We copy this name. It needs to be Anthropic_API_key. All right. Then you can click on the prerequisites. I think it's above over here. Yeah, you'll need API key. So when you click on this, the Anthropic console will open up. In here, you have to log in just use the same account you have in Claude, right? Then click on settings at the top and API keys on the left. Now we just create a new API key. I'm going to name it new society. Let's create a workspace default. Let's copy the key and paste it in here. Boom, Control S. Now, by the way, the reason I name it new society is because that's where I show every single step of my startup. So if you are planning to build your own AI startup, or if you just want to see me build and scale this into 5, 6 figures and beyond, then make sure to join the new society. In the classroom, you can access daily updates from me sharing how I build and scale and promote the startup. Right here, start your own AI startup. And this is actually going to be day 3. So let me create a new page, day 3. And here you get all the behind the scenes content that isn't going on YouTube. Plus, every week there is a Q&A call where you can talk to me directly. So if you're interested in that, it's going to be the second link in the description. All right, let's go back to Claude. I'm going to ask it, actually, we can continue in cursor, right? So we have this implementation, we're using the latest model. And just to confirm that, we can go into the docs. On the left, we can click on models. And here we'll see all of the models that Anthropic offers. So Claude 3.5 Haiku, they're saying comes later this year. But actually here they're saying later this month. So maybe in a few days, we can use Haiku as well, which is going to be cheaper, but obviously not as intelligent, not as competent. So we need to use this 2024, 1022, and we're already using that. Beautiful. Temperature we can leave at 0. Okay. And we can actually close this by Control L. You are a task prioritizer. Given a list of new tasks, return only a number 0 based indexed. Okay, one thing I can highlight is I'm going to highlight this sentence. I'm going to say, turn this into a multi-line string for better visibility. Do not change anything about the prompt itself. Okay, enter. Oh, we're using, okay, I'm going to reject this and I'm going to switch to Claude 3.5 Sonnet 2024. Generate. So now I want to be using the best one, right? Like, even though this is obviously a super simple task that even the previous one. And maybe I should also say split the prompt into multiple lines so it's easier to see. Okay, beautiful. Accept. You are a task prioritizer. Given a list of tasks and a new task, this is kind of a sketchy description. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy my original description and I'm going to say, rewrite the system prompt so that it more closely reflects my original vision for this AI agent. I'm going to paste this in, enter. Okay, so you are a task prioritizer. Your role is to maintain and help prioritized task list, yes. When given a list of existing tasks and a new, this is such a weird way to say it. I'm going to say, when given a new task, okay, analyze it carefully to determine the optimal position on the user's task list. Also, we should probably update this to be a JSON format. Okay, let's rewrite the system prompt to make it a bit more concise and to ensure it outputs its text in a JSON format. The field should be as follows. I'll say other tasks, reasoning, new task position. Okay. Explicitly mention to not output any other text in the JSON, only valid JSON. Also give a brief example of the desired JSON structure. So if you don't know what JSON is, it stands for JavaScript Object Notation. It's basically a way it's a format, it's a data format that's easy for computers and humans to read, right? So here's example of JSON. You have other tasks and then, list of other tasks and then reasoning, high urgency. Okay, actually, there should be one more field. So let's rewrite this. Actually, there needs to be one more field at the very start of the JSON, which is new task. New task, yeah, just new task, okay? So it kind of reminds you of the new tasks, then other task. Yes, sir, exactly, beautiful. New task position 1, but it should be 0 for highest priority. Fix critical block, okay. Fix critical block, yeah. Should be done before docs, but not before the critical bug fix. Okay, beautiful. Cursor is already helping me write that. So, okay, long-term impact. This is by far the most important factor. Okay, Return only a JSON. Yes, I love this prompt. Do not output any text outside of JSON. Return only a JSON object with this field, new task. The new task being added exactly as the user gave it. List of all existing tasks. List of all existing tasks in the user's task list. Okay, which by the way we need to reference in here as a variable. Reasoning, thorough logical process of where the new task fits in the list. It's good enough. New task position, 0 based index for insertions. 0 for n for lowest, okay? And then example output, boom. And then I'm gonna say it once again. Do not output any other text, just return valid JSON, okay? Boom, save. Temperature, we can probably go like 0.1, 500 output tokens, probably fine. Let's leave that as is. However, there is going to be an issue, and I can probably just open up Control I. Let's open the composer again. Okay, your task is to make sure the API call. Okay, make sure this is all the system prompt, right? Oh, current tasks, new task. Oh, it is already in here, so it correctly did implement that. All right, so let's close it. Control I. Let's run it. Let's try it. Test. Enter a new task. Okay, so actually that's one thing it should start. It should start by outputting the current list of tasks. So Control I. Your task is to make one small change to our code. We need to first display the entire task list to the user before asking him to add a new one. Create a new task. Implement this in as few lines as possible. So now Composer is gonna rewrite. Okay, let's Command Enter. Let's try again. And we get an error. Why? Actually, inside of Cursor, you can do debug with AI, which opens the chat feature, different from the Composer. If you're confused about Cursor and all the features, inside of the New Society, I have a really detailed, advanced Cursor tutorial right here in Advanced AI Tutorials in the classroom that's gonna teach you step by step how you can build essentially anything with Cursor and how to get the most out of it. So again, it's inside of the New Society, second link in the description. All right, so what is going on? Is it really with there's no way. There's no way it's this. We didn't even get the JSON response from, wait, there's no shot. Okay, so no tasks yet. And then if I'm gonna say something like go to the gym, okay, now it's calling and then we get an error. So now we put this add to Composer and say, when we receive the API response from the AI model, we get this error, okay? I'm gonna say fix this. Just fix this. Figure out what's going on and fix it. The problem is that we're expecting a simple integer. Oh yeah, so we've rewritten the, yeah, that's one issue. Basically what we did is we rewritten the output. Hey, why is it trying to remove this? I have no clue why it's trying to remove that. Anyways, we do want to accept this line, so we can just do accept. We decline this change, we keep that, and then we parse that. Let's try again. Test. Okay. We probably should start with some tasks, right? Okay, I'll say, let's make sure we already start with some tasks on the list. I'm gonna say add five stereotypical tasks that an AI startup founder would have on his list. Keep it short, okay? Okay, pitch to potential investors, fix critical ML bug model. Yeah, write technical commission, prepare product demo for client, hire a senior ML engineer, fix critical ML bug, okay, yeah. Pitch to potential investors. So yeah, now we start with some tasks. So when we run it, we will see current tasks in priority order. So pitch to potential investors is above fix critical bug. I don't know why, but our AI agents should handle that. Okay, so now let's say we enter a new task, right? Let's make it, I want to say, improve the UI of our mobile app. You know, something that's definitely not critical, but I'm curious. So now the JSON, there's an issue with the JSON. And what that happens, okay, so I'm gonna say add to composer. There's an issue with the JSON. Let's first see how it's formatted by having the AI, by simply printing out the API response. Do not try to parse the JSON just yet. And then let's actually feed it the exact code it should do. So let's go into the initial setup. I'm gonna say, should we message that content? Just do print message content, okay? So because the issue is that sometimes it includes like the JSON and some characters, we need to see exactly, why is it trying to remove this? It's crazy. Why is it trying to remove that? I don't know. Anyways, let's accept this. And now let's run it again. So I'm gonna say improve the UI in our mobile app. I wanna see exactly the output. Boom. Okay, wait, so did that work? Position 4. Wait. Okay, I want to kind of comment out everything else. And the news, and here should be like print organizing tasks. Okay, that's good. But I don't think it utilized the JSON parsing. I'll say also comment out everything else. I just want to see how the raw API output looks. It's confusing me with the other print statements. I just want to see exactly what Claude returns and how it's formatted, because then we can change our parsing to account for that. Okay, so it's trying to delete all this. Accept. Run again. Improve our website design. Obviously, it doesn't have enough context. API response. Text block. Yeah, that's the issue. We need to extract this. Okay, so I'm going to say add to composer. Here is the issue. We need to extract just the text from the API response. Update the line that's printing out the API output to fix this. We're getting an entire text block. So yes, this is what we need. The first position on the list and then that text. So let's try again. Design a new logo. Okay, so now it should be good. Now the API should be returning valid JSON. Implement back the rest of the loop where we extract the new task position field from the JSON and update our lists of tasks accordingly. Okay, so we re-implement what we had. Looks good. Let's see if this works. So I'm gonna say add a footer to our website, something completely irrelevant. Organizing tasks. Yes, and it correctly put it at number 6. Let's see the reasoning. I want to see the reasoning. Okay, great. Our script works. Just make sure to also print out the reasoning before showing the updated list. Okay, so actually this is going to be like the foundation code that I'm going to be implementing into my startup, and probably I'm going to be using Claude 3.5 Haiku for this when it releases later this month, because it's the perfect cheap model for this. Okay, so let's accept this. Let's go again. Let's do, Okay, I'm gonna say something funny. Solve our website from being hacked. I don't know. It's not the right way to say it, but whatever. Should be number one. Okay, solve our, yes. Beautiful. So let's see the reasoning. A security breach is an immediate critical threat that requires urgent attention as it can compromise blah blah blah. This should be above everything else, including the ML bug investor page. Yes. So it put it at number one. Amazing. So obviously the next step would be to implement like SQLite or some database to save this, because right now it's in memory, meaning every time I close the program, it's not saved, right? This is not a proper database of tasks. So I'm going to implement that into my startup, and this is going to be the foundational thing. And I'm going to be using Claude 3.5 Haiku. I mean, I'm going to be using Sonnet for now, but that's, unnecessarily expensive for just this task of sorting. So I'm going to switch to Haiku later on. And this is going to be the logic powering my AI startup. And of course, the second feature is going to be the first step, where the AI agent helps you take the first step in completing any task on your list. So my vision is to build the best productivity app in the world that helps you do your tasks for you. So basically, that's an easy way to explain it. So again, if you want to be one of the first people who have access to my startup, fill out the waitlist below. And if you want to be one of the 5 people who I work with closely, personally, over the next 6 months, and if you want to scale your business from low 4 figures to 5 figures, then apply. It's going to be the first link in the description. Again, I'm going to be selecting 5 people I'm going to be working with. Once they are chosen, I will not accept any new clients. That's it. Hopefully you found this video valuable and have a great rest of your day. Bye.